In this video, we'll talk about the web page structure. So for most websites, we have a similar layout. We have a header section. We have a content area. Then we have a footer area. So let's take a look at the website of Mansfield. So here on the top, we have a header. In header, we have a menu or navigation. In the middle, we have content, and here we have a folder. So that is a popular structure. We can design the layout with division. For example, here, division, we use ID to distinguish different divisions. We have a header, navigation, we have an article. Inside article, we have a section, we have a sidebar, we also have a folder. So first, we learn how to use division to design such layout. So we will start with Loweplan++ with the structure. I don't type the structure again, so please, if you didn't have the structure, you type it first. So first, when we design our web page, we should have a container. Why do we have a container? Close it. The reason is with the container, we can, like say, we put everything inside the container, then we can put the container in the center. So it's easy to control everything if we put everything with the container. If we control the position of container, then we control everything. So that's just the by experiences. Then we have, like say, we have a container. There's a label. Inside the container, first we will have a header. We need to close it. So after that, we have navigation. Close it. And after that, we have article. We close it. Then we have actually inside the article, we have a section. div id equal to section. And after that, section will have a sidebar. Then we'll have a folder. Because the division is not visible, so we need to add some border. So first we put a division. Then we put a border, like a solid blank 2 pixel. Then let's see what do we have. So we get something like this. It's too closed. So let's put some margin. Also for container, because we use ID who have hash sign, we want to change the different color. Reload the code. So we can say the outside is a container, and we have a header, navigation, article. Inside article, we have a section, we have a sidebar, we have a folder. Now we need to control it. For when we design web page, we don't prefer, like say, we prefer some space on the both sides. So we need to control the width of the container, 8 pixel. When we control it, we found the, you can say, let's say 800. We should put the container in the center. Remember, how can we do that? We use margin, auto. So with it, we put everything in the center. So you can say that's why the reason we use a container. So it looks very close with what we want here, but we want to align article and the sidebar on the same line horizontally. How can we do that? First, we need to control the width, hashtag again, the article, and the width 500 pixel, and we control the section, no, the side. So width will be 250 pixel. You can say we have space here, but even though we have space on the right side, we still, this division will be located here. That's default. So if we want to move this division to this space, we need to use float. Before we do that, let's put some height for those two. Then we need to float the side bar. So let's see what's the results. So you can say this is a sidebar. This is article. So when we float the sidebar, we get something like this. You may put attention the sidebar flow outside the container. Even when we do coding, we put the sidebar inside the container. But when we use float, it flow out. So in our case, we not only need to float the sidebar, but also the article. You can say, so it looks very well. And finally, we need to control the folder. So the folder is not little different with what we want if we compare here. So we also need to float the folder. And then we need to control the width. So it should be like 775 pixel. Then we get here. So again, we get folder, we get the article, we get a sidebar. Again, when we float the folder, article, a sidebar, all of them flow out the container. So if we say we don't want to display the container, if we don't want to display the border of container, here for the border, we can change to long. Save it. Let's see what we have here. So it's very close with what we want. So that's an example how we can use division to design the layout. We can put some content inside different division. With HTML5, we add a set of tags Like we have section, header, NIV, article, aside, and footer. Actually, here we need to use division because we just use ID. But with HTML5, we just directly use. We don't need to use division. We just use like say section, header, navigation, or article. So for navigation is the same thing. So navigation we have for this is the menu, and for the header we may put a logo and put the menu, and for the footer we can put the copyright, the year or address, and for a section usually a web page can have several sections. An example just like this. Say we have the body, then we have the header. Inside the header we have navigation, and we have two sections. In this section we have navigation bar, we have a sidebar. This section we have multiple articles, and we have a footer. So that's section. For article, so why do we need an article? So sometimes when we have, like say, for the content of Mansfield, you can say we have meaning this. So in the old way, we can use division to do this. But with HTML5, we can use article. What means article? So in our this example, inside the article, we can have a header, we can have other content, we can have a footer. Means to say, we call this as article can be repurposed. So that's the article. We also can have a sidebar, just something on this side. So next we will learn how to use the new tags from HTML5 to develop something like this. We will introduce how to use the tags, design this in next video.